Jack.
We'll get it to
Bob,
him.
do you want me to pass the control to you?
Yeah, I won't take a lot of your time because I know everybody is want to get out there on Friday, and I appreciate you allowing me to talk to the group for I'll probably take just 5 minutes. First and foremost, where's Marie at?
Hold on a few seconds. Let me. I need to. If I shut this down, I'm afraid it's going to let me go. Van, can you? I don't know how to take back over control.
Just leave the meeting. Don't end the meeting. Just leave it. You'll be fine.
Okay, guys, I'll be back on in my car.
Drive careful. So where's Maria? Maria, congratulations on I Dare You, your first one. That is fantastic. We are so proud of you, of your hard work and your dedication that you put in, week out. So yes, congratulations, young lady. Phenomenal job. Now let's see how many more people can join her on stage with that beautiful, outstanding jacket. But we always need leaders, and she is always leading the way. Brian, where's Brian? Brian, 40K last week, my friend. To you and your team, congratulations. Outstanding feat. Here's the thing. Once that's broken, I can just imagine when 50, 60, 70, and Brian, I'm going to hop on a call this year that you're going to say, Schmidt, we just did 102K. I know that is just around the corner. You have phenomenal people on your team that are building and growing, and it's so nice to see you build an organization with such wonderful people. So thumbs up if you're still on, Brian. Congratulations,
yes,
40K mark.
Thank you, Rob.
And then Trish, bless Trish and her family out there leading the way. It's amazing what a man and woman can conceive and believe they can achieve with a positive mental attitude and good prayers from individuals. So guys and gals, I was just wanted to hop on real quick. Over the course of the last probably 8 to 10 weeks, I've really taken a look at our market directors, our regional directors, and then our field directors. And I had the opportunity, as most don't, to be able to talk to our field directors and market directors and regional directors around the country. And I took some copious notes to make sure that I delivered the right message, because I truly believe that the field director position, although it's a fantastic position, if you want to double, triple, and quadruple your income, all you have to do is move to the next level, to that market level. It's amazing the growth that comes out of moving from one position on a career track to the next position. Now, that's designed for a reason. Who would want to go and build the business, and the bigger you build your business, the less money you make? Most people would say, that's not for me. It's the exact opposite. But I want you to put this in your mindset. For those of you that are on the phone right now, and you're in the field director position, right now, the field director position is to get out there and sell in volume, and it is to train new individuals. I want you to think of a field director and a market director position. A field director is kind of like a teenager, okay? I want to be an adult, but I'm still a teenager. So if I stay that teenager and I make a mistake, or I don't want to put in enough time and effort, that's okay. Nobody will scold me. Things will be okay. When you move into a market director, you're really moving into adulthood. That's what you're really doing. Now, why do I say that? Well, because when you move into a market director, there's an investment. There's not only investment of your time, but there's an investment in your income. There's an investment in your leadership. There's an investment in a change in your mindset. And there's an investment in your commitment. Truly is. So it's a totally different. Some people are ready for it. Others aren't. I totally get it. But we got to start getting people more prepared coming out of the field director role and really start to understand what it takes to become a market director and really change the switch of being a professional. I'm not saying a field director is not a professional. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that's our biggest jump. Coming from that one step on the career track into that market level is our biggest step. It's common sense. When you look at it, you'll see it. So when I looked at that, and I talked to several regional and market directors over the last couple of weeks, some things were glaring. Some things really stood out, Casey, to me, and Zach, BJ, and others stood out to me of why people make the jump and continuously keep moving forward and growing, and why others just miss it, just miss it, just miss it. So I'm going to give you a couple of things that religiously these individuals are doing day to day, week to week, month to month to build their business, to go from that market, now moving into regional and setting their stage of building their business. The first thing that was really glaring, it was recruiting. So right now, we normally tell a field director, hey, go out and field recruit, go out and happenstance, go out and talk to people. When you're having lunch, when you're having dinner, when you're socializing, go out. That's fantastic. We don't want you to stop that, because there's great people in our business. I think Michael Casco will tell you, I think 37% of the people recruited so far to date have been personal field recruits. So we don't want to stop that. It's working. Here's what we want to do. We want to add to it. So when talking to these individuals, ladies and gentlemen, they spend approximately 5 hours a week in other recruiting atmospheres. What does that mean? Well, that could be term list. That could be a licensed agent list. That could be talking to your regional or agency owner, or talking to Michael Casco and saying, hey, how do I feel 5 hours a week in recruiting? What would be my best value? What would be my added proposition? What would be my best time frame? If I was going to spend 5 hours, BJ, what would you tell me to do to recruit that would maximize that time? It's not doing 7, 10, 20, 30, and then coming back and say, well, I can't train and I can't sell because I'm spending too much recruiting. They told me if you spent 5 hours a week and you field recruited when you're in the field, you could hire consistently and have people in your pipeline to grow your business strong enough to move into a market and regional position. Think of what was said on this call by Todd. Todd's going to miss again because of submits. You would never have that problem if you spent approximately 5 hours a week. So you have to schedule yourself out, and then you got to find the time, and you got to find the activity that's going to drive recruiting for you. Hey, it might be RMS. Okay. It might be Indeed. I don't know what it is, but it's that investment of time and that investment of income that's truly going to make a difference. So that was the first thing. The second thing they said is they always stayed and led from the front. So even though they're now building to a market, they do exactly what all of you are doing on this phone. And that is, Brian, leading from the front every day. Soon as you take yourself out of that leadership role and you don't lead from the front, you know what happens to that initial team. If it's okay for you not to do it, then it becomes okay for them not to do it. So they need to see that leadership. And the third thing is about training. You need to continuously keep honing your skills as you build your business through training the right way, the effective way. So the last thing that they told me, it comes down to, BJ, time management. There's enough time in the day to do worldly things. There's enough time in the day to change people's lives for the better. There's enough time in a day to build the business. It's, are you spending the right time in the right investment?
Right.
So when you look at your schedule, when you look at what your day-to-day process is, we're going to find, in even my schedule, I find a lot of dead time. I find a lot of time that I'm just getting through and I think I'm accomplishing something. And at the end of the day, I pull my hair out and say, wow, I wasted 3 hours today. Thought I did something really good. So you have to find that time and investment, and you got to manage your skill set and your calendar to fit that in.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how you move your business forward. But it starts with you making that commitment and saying, hey, I'm now ready for it. I'm going to take those training wheels off. I'm taking the next step. I'm going to commit and invest some income. And some of you might not be prepared for that. And that's okay. Because you know the time and effort that you put into it is what you get out of it. So if you're not ready, that's understandable. Keep doing what you do best. But if you're ready to invest that time, if you're ready to change your mindset, if you're ready to really commit to move forward, there's nothing that's going to stop you. Nothing. So I want you to start thinking about that. And then what we're going to do as a division, we're going to start running field director calls once a month. And we're going to bring on market and regional directors to talk about how they got to where you were and how they move forward, Casey. Because there is a roadmap. Many people before you have accomplished this and went on to greatness. Here's the thing. We're not following anything. We're just out there doing our thing. We need a roadmap to say, hey, I'm an FD4, I'm an FD5. If I just follow this roadmap, I know I can become a market director 2 quarters down the road. So does that make sense to you?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Because that's our
Yes,
biggest.
sir.
So I'm gonna end there and ask if anybody has any specific question about it, and then I'm gonna get with Van and we're gonna have a discussion about how do we get this roadmap, what does it look like, and then we're gonna put in these specific calls. And if you'd like to join, I'm gonna send it out to everybody because everybody I believe needs that opportunity. You're more than welcome to join on a regular basis. We're not gonna overload you. It's gonna be once a month. And then we're going to have guest speakers on, and they're going to talk about how they built and moved their business specifically. And how we can help you, once you've made that decision, how we can help you grow your business. So any questions or comments?
I have a question. When you're talking about managing your time and your schedule, obviously, you know, there's a lot of time management, but you kind of referred to kind of going back, scratching your head. You just spent 3 hours doing something. Can you kind of hone in on that just a little bit more?
Yeah. Casey, when I was building a business and it came down to time management, when it comes down to, let's say, recruiting itself, I knew day by day, week by week, the specific time that I was going to be involved in recruiting. And I did not change my schedule. Okay. So what I'm asking you to do, Casey, is let's say Tuesday's the right day, or let's say Wednesday's the right day. I would ask you to lock yourself away for those 5 hours and have enough activity going to move recruiting's needle. Not to put it in the calendar and then leave it and then come back 2 weeks later and then leave it and come back a week later. I found very quickly in my childhood through building an insurance business, the closer you stay to your calendar, the more effective you become. Because if not, then you and I can find ways to waste time. We don't realize it's wasting time until the end of the week, and there's a lot of fluff in our business. So I would ask you to do that specifically, to put a strong schedule together and put these 3 to 5 hours a week in recruiting in your schedule. Now, we know that schedules change every so often, but you should stay 95% to that schedule on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. Get into that routine. If you talk to Dylan Buck has a routine. You know how close he follows that routine?
Precisely, probably.
Precisely. Like, I mean, it's overwhelming for me how precise he is. But that's what we have to move to. That's the investment that we got to do. But great question. And I thank goodness my wife's not on, because if she saw your chandelier, she'd be saying, Rob, buy me that Casey chandelier. I love it.
They still sell them, Lowe's.
Don't tell me that. But great question, Case. Anybody else?
No, it's good stuff. Great stuff.
Okay, I'm going to turn it back to Van, and we'll go from there, and I'll stay on until everybody's off.
Guys, Rob, thank you for that. Definitely appreciate it. Guys, here's what I'll say. Rob just shared some great stuff. Now, if we just hear it, nod our heads, and then don't pull up our calendar right now, and for the week after the train more, maybe we don't do this next week on the train more because we're focused and we don't need that scattered, fragmented focus on the train more. But I would dare say the week after the train more, guys, if Rob's saying that we should all commit to 5 hours per week of building our business, if it gets on your calendar, you'll do it. If you don't put it on your calendar right now, we'll get back the week after the train more, and we'll be having this call 2 weeks from today and go, hey, how did it go with putting it, with making that happen? And we're going to get a bunch of, oh man, I forgot. Guys, it's your business. If it is to be, it's up to me, right? We got to write these things down, put them on the calendar, because what gets calendarized will get done. And if it doesn't, it won't. It's as simple as that. So,
Van, I have a question, I guess for Rob. So as far as dedicating 5 hours a week for recruiting, I mean, would you recommend doing that, like carving out a specific day and then knocking out those 5 hours all in a day? Or do you think it would be acceptable to do like an hour a day? And I'm asking that because 5 hours a day, I feel like, sure, you can definitely get some very positive momentum going, but spacing it out throughout the week, especially if you're sending out career spotlights, on Monday, instead of waiting all the way until Friday when you do your recruiting, you know what I mean, to follow up. Just making sure that every couple of days you're basically reaching out to people and doing follow-ups and all that. So what is your opinion on that?
That's another good question, Brian. I've seen people do both sides. So I think the first thing is it's got to fit your schedule. Okay. I've talked to people and they say, hey, listen, that would be awesome. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'm going to take 2 hours each morning, 9 to 11. I'm going to lock myself away for those 3 days, 2 hours in the morning, for exactly what you said. That way, if I have a career spotlight come through, I can do that interview on Tuesday. I can do it Wednesday. I can do it Thursday. Others say, you know what? I'm going to drive everything I do to one day. So I'm going to take midweek and I'm going to go from 8 to 5 or 8 to noon. And those 4 hours is when I'm going to dedicate all my time. So I'm going to drive everything through those 4 specific hours on that Wednesday. So I would tell you this, I would look at my current schedule and I would look at where do I have my most downtime at? Because we all have downtime. I mean, when I pull up my schedule, when Van pulls up his schedule and I say, hey, Van, I need to have a quick call with you. Van will look at his schedule and say, okay, I got a half hour here, or I got a half hour here, but hey, Tuesday's right full. So you know what your kind of schedule is like and how it fits your business and your personal life. So look for those holes in your schedule and then look and see, Brian, what you do best. If you feel more comfortable, I felt more comfortable blocking the 4 or 5 hours off and just going at it like a crazy man. When I talk to a couple of regionals, they like to do just like you said. They'd like to do a couple hours. Then they find themselves not changing their calendar up, because if something didn't fall on me on those 4 hours, then I'd have to fit it in. The other way, you got 2 other days or another day to still pull it and fit it in. So there's never a wrong answer. The key is to keep it in your calendar. That's the key. Because it's
Rob.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead and finish it, and then I was going to say.
No, I was just going to say, so really take a look at that schedule and say, hey, what's the best way to attack my schedule, and keep it in your schedule. what I found every week that I changed my schedule, I got behind because there's always something
Yeah.
coming, guys and girls. There's all, hey, listen, there's all, if it isn't a personal thing, it's a business thing. It's a training thing. It's something. You got to stay true to the system once you have it. So either way, Brian, but just take a look at your schedule in your calendar and see where it fits in.
Hey guys, so
That makes sense. Thank you.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So guys, for me, my day is Monday, but I would caution you all from this as well. When this time is time for you to be either calling people on RMS or Indeed or Craigslist or whatever and follow. It's not, hey man, I'm going to take 2 hours to recruit today, and then you just sit around thinking that you're doing recruiting and you're not really doing anything and thinking about what you want to do. It's not that. It's those 2 hours are work because it's important. So for me, my days are Monday. So Mondays are when I have 3 Zoom calls already on Monday. So what I've done is said, okay, I call my resume, I call, all my application questionnaires that come in. I do Zoom interviews. Guys, I did an interview last night at 5:30. So I schedule, interviews all throughout the week, whether they're early in the morning or late at night or whenever they work. But my main day for recruiting is Monday. So the majority of Mondays I'm in the office, but all day long, if you looked at my calendar, it's second interview, final interview, second interview, I mean, it's all day long on Monday. So I would caution you to guard your time, but use that time like it's supposed to be used. Don't pretend that just because you're saying, 2 hours of recruiting and you're not really doing it, that you're actually recruiting and just taking time out of the field.
Good suggestion.
Hey, this might be a really, really dumb question, so I apologize in advance. Are you suggesting, or is everybody else doing recruiting time in addition to their 45-ish hours of selling and training, or is this supposed to replace some of that time?
Go ahead. Who would like to answer that?
I would say that's included in your time of the day. Any day you choose to pick. I wouldn't kill yourself going to 6 or 7 in the afternoon and then working 5 more hours till almost midnight one night just for recruiting. That's just my opinion.
Well,
about it.
I guess, BJ, I mean, I understand what you're saying with that, but I would also say that nobody's going to be recruiting from 6 to midnight. If you're calling people from 6 to midnight, that's right. I know. So, yeah. Maria, recruiting is, as you move up through the ranks, in my mind, recruiting is part of the job. But that's why I caution people that's why I caution you guys to don't hide underneath the cover of I'm recruiting, so I'm not in the field. If you're having, a bad week right now and, I wouldn't, knock off and say, man, I'm recruiting, but pick it on a day that you have the rest of the week to make up your time. So I like Mondays. Why? Because it leaves me the rest of the week that I need to do things, but I can also schedule a lot of interviews on Fridays as well. So, on Friday mornings, I generally run Zooms right after my Friday morning Zoom interviews. So it's all part of the work, but it's not disguised as selling time.
Yeah, Maria, I
probably didn't get the right idea, but.
Maria, the answer for you is it's included in your time. You don't need to work any more hours than you already are.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo. Maria,
Okay,
it's time allotted. Remember that. Write it down. Time allotted. Remember what I said. Find the time in your schedule that is your downtime and fill it with that time. So I'm not asking you to work 50 hours and then add another 5. What I'm asking you is to look at your schedule and find the time allotted that you can utilize this skill set and build your business. Here's the key. Van brought up an interesting sheet. Can you guys see this sheet?
Yeah.
This
Yes.
table of contents, these are all the different types of recruiting sources that we can utilize and use on a regular basis. Looks like Van's got 31 on that list. Here's the key. I don't want you to select 31. Okay? Because even if I look at this list, what do I say to myself, Casey? I say, this is overwhelming. If I implement this, even Rob Schmidt's going to go crazy. So I want you to take a quick look, everybody on the phone still, I want you to take a quick look at this list. And I want you to pick out 2 or 3 that you would like to add to your recruiting arsenal to fill up that 3 to 5 hours. When you get one, shout it out to me. Let me know. Write it down on your piece of paper and say, hey, Schmitty, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do colleges and universities. Hey, Schmitty, the one that I'm going to use military. Whatever you believe that you're going to utilize and use, just give me a shout. And I don't want you to pick more than 3. If you pick more than 3, I'm going to hop back on a plane. I'm going to fly to where you are, and I'm going to erase them off your sheet. Okay? So just think
Hey,
of,
Rob.
hey, what's my skill set? And what would I really be able to master and do well off this list?
Hey, Rob, I have 4 or 5 for you. I'm going to shout out. So
I'm flying down to get you.
first one is first one, Craigslist. You know, that's something that, you know, I've been posting ads quite frequently just around the area. And it's very, very simple. You know, there's tons of templates for that. And it's very inexpensive. So I'll share an example that I shared on the call last week. But I'm looking for a licensed insurance agent, someone that is already licensed by the state of North Carolina. And I already had a response probably a couple hours after I posted that ad with someone saying, hey, I have both B2B experience and I am an active producer with the state of North Carolina. Very interested in hearing more. Give me a call. And then who do you know? That was another one that it works, guys, because Brian Terode wouldn't be here if I didn't ask Tanya Green, his minister at church. Hey, Tanya, you're obviously not looking for anything else as far as a career. You were 100% content here, but birds of the same feather flock together. So who do you know that might want a better opportunity? And she's like, I do know one person. His name's Brian Terode. So, fast forward a year later, he's been with us for that long. So
great idea. Great idea. See, Maria, how it starts to work?
Yeah, that's great.
Craigslist ad, little bit of time and effort put into it. Boom. People come from it. Excellent. Who else has got one?
So when I was reading through this packet, the realtor one was pretty cool. So I forget the exact terminology they use, but basically when people move to the area, when they sell them a house, it's part of their welcome packet. And we could become a part of that basically as just another career opportunity. So I know a ton of realtors, so that's going to be something I'm going to explore with them.
Awesome. Good. That's a good one. Because realtors, they're kind of made from our same cloth, aren't they?
Yeah.
So we relate well with them. Good.
I'm going to do, of course, social media always has been a go-to for me for finding warm leads, just for people to sell to. And then, so why not recruit off of it, right? I've been trying it. Probably need to get some ideas from the vets on this call, and realtors. I could see where someone in real estate could come on board and really crush this. I just set up my first realtor office with Divine Fog here in Lynchburg. Is one of my realtor, actually, that when I bought this house that I'm sitting in now, she works for them, and I know a lot of those people over there. So that's next Wednesday. I have that set up. And Maria, you did I guess an event. I don't know if you actually sponsored it, because what I'm doing with this thing, I'm actually having to pay 160, 180 or something like that for the food and everything. I'm actually sponsoring this event, but I'm not sure. I think you were just there like as a guest or guy.
So I did, I was at the Lynchburg office. Is that the one you're going to?
Yeah. So you went there. I thought that event was down near like in Forest somewhere that time.
Or maybe it was
Forest.
Forest. Maybe it was Forest. I don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
you were
pretty
in
much
Forest.
just bought food and did a group presentation. So I don't know if sponsoring it's a
Yeah,
little.
you just brought some
easier.
food to an event. Yeah, this is something different. This is something like they have like once a month or something. But and then they also have a office in Virginia Beach. So after I set this up and this goes well, because I just went to Norfolk like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I'm gonna go back and try to get with those realtors. And I got another friend that just started a new job in a different realtor office. I'm gonna do the same with her while I'm there. I'm gonna try to set all that up while I'm in Virginia Beach next time I go.
Good for you.
Yes,
Good
sir.
for you. Anybody else want to share?
Rob, I'll jump in. I'll say for me personally, Craigslist, joining the chamber. I used to be a part of chambers and I just didn't utilize them enough. And then just simply asking, while being out in the field, just who do you know? But I would also say realtors as well. Birds of a feather do flock together. So folks that are usually in real estate that have been there for a while are pretty sharp, and they usually know folks who are just getting started, may have failed their first go around, and some of their family. So I too as well do a lot of real estate. So I should start asking.
Good. I'll give you guys one that I've used now for the last 2 weeks with Kyle and with BJ Baker. We ordered a insurance list, so we can order insurance lists, split it up between 2, 3, 4 of you. And that is everybody that has an insurance license in, let's say, the state of North Carolina. You get the list of the person's name and their telephone number, and also some of it is where they're currently working. Well, we did 2 weeks ago, we picked up the list. We phoned 137 people. Took us 2.5 hours to phone 137 people. Out of 137 people, we sent out 6 profiles. And out of 6 profiles, we did 3 first and second interviews. So we could hire somebody from that 2.5 hours. I get to Kyle's office this week. Guess what Kyle does? Gives me a list of people and I phone them. And they come off of Indeed and ZipRecruiter and so forth. So that could be an idea for you, that if you want to have that passive where you get a list, you phone that list during those 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, you send out your profile, and then you set up for interviews. That's how it works. But believe me, it's, to phone 137 people, you're going to get everything. Hey, I love my job. Hey, what are you phoning me for? Hey, what is it that you guys do? Oh, let me give you a brief snapshot. So if you want some scripts to follow, we can send you some phone scripts. And these are some of the things that we're going to cover on the monthly call. So we're going to ask everybody on the call, hey, if you're using this source, here's how you use it properly and effectively. So we're going to try to train you as well as inspire you to move to that next level. BJ, you mentioned social media. The guys the guys and gals to the south of you, the Latino market?
Yeah.
70% of every person hired last year came from social media. 70% of everyone they hired in the Latino market came from social media.
Right.
Think of that. So you picked a great source. If they can recruit off of social media, why can't you?
Yeah.
And we're talking about they averaged 8 hires a week last year. You're looking for 1.
Right.
So it can be done.
I had a young lady that I just got introduced to yesterday at the gym. she I think it was just yeah, my brain is fried, so forgive me.
You're good.
Yeah, I was a buddy of mine that I work out with on a consistent basis. Man of God, we have little Bible studies together and everything. And he was like, "Hey, I want to introduce you to Latoya." And he was like, "Do you have supplemental insurance?" And he asked her, and she was like confused. She didn't even know really exactly what it was. She's like, "Yeah, I've got insurance," and you know that whole spiel, how that goes.
Yeah.
I was like, no, this is what it is, and this basically offsets your indirect costs, like your mortgage and rent and all that, blah blah. So I broke it down to her, like 5 second spill, and she's like, wait a minute, you guys just sent me a thing on Indeed, and she pulled up the email that she got, and I was like, yep, that's us. That's us. I said, "You happy where you are? You love your job?" She said, "Yeah, I'm not going anywhere from that job." That's all right. I told her that that's okay. It's just, so I wish there was something that I could do on Indeed, or not just Indeed, but other sources. So that way in Virginia, like me and Maria could be the ones that are getting all these like phone calls. And that's, that would be credit for us getting recruits, and not being a mass recruit and just be given to us. Like, I wish I could get these sources.
That's the direction you're moving to. But right now,
Yeah.
use the other sources to fill, and
Right.
then you'll build that up as you go forward.
I
But
know
you're
it
on
takes
the right,
time.
you're on the right thought process.
Yeah.
You definitely are.
I look at it like a type of thing, like you have to earn that. You have to be at a certain level and get to a certain height to be able to like shoot out a mass recruit type thing like that, or deal like that. Because of course, that's not free. You got to pay for that too.
That's the investment of the income that I talked about moving into that type of investment.
Yeah,
making sure that you are professionally prepared to move forward with that investment.
Right. And I'm not.
Good. Some good thought process going here. Van, anything else?
Yep, sure do. Guys, I want to challenge us with this. We brought this up 2 weeks ago on this call, and I shared this list with you, and I said, hey, we're going to follow up next week and pick 3 ways that we're going to 3 things that we're going to utilize in our business. And then I didn't follow through on it. So fortune's in the follow-up. I didn't follow up. Maybe you guys all took those 3 things and you've been recruiting up a storm since then. Maybe not. So I am going to physically put a note in my calendar today to follow up on this, not next Friday, because again, I'm not expecting you guys to have a ton done between now and next Friday with the train more coming up, but hopefully there's been 1 or 2 things done to move this forward. Even if it's procuring a few ads to put on Craigslist, or BJ, maybe it's you reaching out to some of your partners and finding out what your partners are putting on social media, or you just do an email search for social media, because Family Heritage sends out a ton of great stuff to use for content on social media.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just kind of blaze through our emails and skim them and miss things. So just take a look at those things, and let's be ready to report on, at least by this time next week, what 3 that we're using. What I wrote down was from today's was BJ, social media, real estate; Maria, real estate; Zach, Craigslist, Chamber of Commerce, real estate. That's all. That's what I got written down from today's. I don't know if there's any additional ones, but and again, it can be those or it can be different, but I think we just need to pick 3, commit to those 3. Let's all do those. And then on a weekly basis, let's get back on this call and report back our progress. So we've got some built-in accountability on that. And so that our partners can kind of hear where we're seeing some success, where we're getting some traction, and maybe inspire each other to do some recruiting, guys, because I think, seeing us do our organizational reports and seeing just our name and nobody's name underneath it gets a little bit old, and we can all have teams, guys. We just got to remember the 10 2-letter words. If it is to be, it's up to me. The people that come in and have sources, they come in wherever they come in. I can't control that. You guys can directly control where your sources come in because they come in where you use them. So I would encourage you guys to get proactive as opposed to reactive about building. And I will put a note in here next week for us to circle back and find out at least what 3 that we've committed to using and any progress that you've done towards that. But then 7 days later or 2 weeks from today, we're going to be really digging in on what we're actually doing with that. So, Rob, I'll re-email this out to the to this crew.
Perfect.
You want it, so you have a copy because this has been around forever. It's a great resource. And guys, just reading on the source that you pick, if you will read up and what it, who do you know, unemployment offices. I mean, it gives you a full page on just about every single source on how to do it. Social media, Brian, right there on page 4 of that document gives a couple of great ones. Some of us just need to go and create a LinkedIn account because we don't have one yet. And that's where we're going to find some really, really good people and start linking in. You know how long it took you to get to 2,000 friends on Facebook? Well, it's going to take you a little while to get up to, 500, 600, 800, 1,000 connections on LinkedIn. So best time to start was yesterday, but since we don't have a time machine, second best time would be today. And over the weekend. Guys, I wanted to let Brian, I was talking to him this morning, and I'm interviewing actually a guy doing a final interview with a person that he spoke to earlier this week and spoke to about our opportunity. And the guy came from a pretty unique source. It's not something that I've really ever heard anybody else, a source that they've been using. But Brian, why don't you share a little bit about why you were speaking with this individual to begin with, okay? And then how you pivoted towards a recruiting effort with Travion.
Sure. So the fact that you have 2,000 friends on Facebook, Van, kind of makes me feel a little bit ashamed because I think I only have a couple hundred. Is 2,000 normal?
I think I got more like 3,800, but I was just throwing out a random number.
Didn't you just start your Facebook not long ago, Biglo?
No, I'm just very selective with who I add. But yeah, so interesting scenario, guys. So I actually had a call from one of my policyholders. This was earlier in the week. I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday. And he called me. And it's, always makes us nervous whenever someone calls, because it's either, most of the time it's either a claim or sometimes it's because they want to make changes to their coverage. So it's never really a good thing. But he basically left me a voicemail saying he needed to talk about his policy. I gave him a call back. He's like, Travion, what's going on, man? What can I help you with? And he basically said that right now things are very tight. He's going to have to, he wanted to terminate his coverage or something like that, or he already did. And I was basically trying to save that app. Really just like listen to him. Like I was asking a couple questions, listening to his scenario and the situation. And, the interesting thing is, guys, like he was actually a referral of mine from his mother, who is a client. She actually works at the post office. And this was probably about a year ago when she referred me to him. And when I first met him, I do recall him being a very sharp individual, right? Like I was really, really connecting with him. And ironically, around the time I was signing him up for this coverage, he had just accepted a job doing like over the counter, like basically a sales role, but for like an HVAC company. And I pitched the career to him at the time, but it was very, very like lightly, just for the fact that, he literally just accepted a job at the time. And then fast forward 8 months later, he's already calling me to cancel this policy because he's not in a good financial situation. And I basically went from, answering that call, trying to help him out and with his current coverage, to basically pitching the career to him. And he was absolutely ecstatic because he remembered the first time I had a conversation with him that I kind of shared a little bit about the opportunity. And I asked him, I was like, Travion, didn't I send you a career spotlight video like 8 months ago, or at least talk to you about the career? And he's like, yeah, you actually did. And I'm like, man, well, let me tell you a little bit more about that, because it seems like, I don't want to just assume, but it seems like maybe there's a few dissatisfactions with your current situation. He's like, yeah, there are. And I basically, guys, I spent 20 minutes talking to him about how I ended up here, really what this career has done for me, and just really just sharing my why and my recruiting story with him. You know, and that's one thing that I've realized over the years is that selling takes a certain skill level, right? I think everyone on this call has done a pretty good job of proving that they can sell insurance. And what Van has always told me is that recruiting is no different than selling, right? Except for you're just selling a different product or a different opportunity, which is the career. And, you know, it's exciting, guys, when you can really talk with confidence and really build up this career and just share what it's done for you. So I shared with him my recruiting story and fired him up to the point that I was like, hey man, like I'm not the one that makes any of the like hiring decisions by any means, but you got to meet this guy, Van Davenport. And I'm going to, like, if you're open-minded to it, I'll send you the career spotlight video, watch it. And you're going to hear from Van. And I always build Van up. It's what he always tells us to edify. And I basically was like, hey, so would you at least be open-minded at checking out this like 45-minute career spotlight video? And he responded yes. But I knew he was also married, so I always take it a step further and say, Trevion, so you're obviously married. Now I want to encourage you to please watch this career spotlight video with your wife. And the reason for that is because we want to make sure that if anyone from the outside is going to give their opinion about this career, that it's at least an informed opinion, like they actually understand what it is. So is that fair? Can I ask you that you watch it with her? And he responded, yeah, that's fine. And guys, the interesting thing is, when I asked him and did a follow-up about the career spotlight video, he mentioned that he was upstairs taking a shower and he asked his wife, he's like, hey, so there's a video that I want to watch together, but here's the link to it. I'm going to probably be about 45 minutes. So if you want to just like watch it first and then and then I can watch it, because she had to like take care of the kids or something. But long story short, guys, she ended up watching the video first and basically going to Trevion and saying, this looks like an incredible opportunity, Trevion. And it like fired him up even more to watch that career spotlight video. So then I got him involved. I did a 3-way text to Van. And that is our newest candidate that we have as a personal field recruit that's in the pipeline.
That's awesome, Brian.
So sorry, I was muted. Guys, there's a lot to unpack in what Brian just shared right there. The first thing was just that follow up with your cancellations. And guys, sometimes you guys get a little text message or an email from me where I'll screenshot what policies you have up for termination or pins or whatnot. Guys, here's the thing. When most of the days you guys are out there, you're with someone. What a great opportunity to call up those term policies while you're on your way to your next appointment and let them hear you interact with them. Sometimes they're going to hear you save a policy. Sometimes they're going to hear, hey, no big deal, no harm, no foul. Maybe later we can circle back with you. But guys, either way, what they're hearing is that, oh, I'm supposed to call my term policies. And when they do that, they're going to save some, guys. And there's a certain percentage, 20, 30% of people that term that never knew their policy's term. They forgot they even had it. They changed banks. They moved. Something happened. They were under deposited 1 or 2 months, and their policies got termed. They still wanted it. Just got to follow up. Let me pause for a second and just ask, am I still on? Because no one's faces are moving. So I don't know if I'm.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
You're still on, but for whatever reason, I'm cutting in and out here in Wilmington. But you guys are not, but like, I can't control my screen for some reason.
Okay, no problem. So guys, one is follow up with your terms and do it in front of the people that you're training that day. Don't do it in secret, but behind, because, oh, I don't want Susie to know that people cancel because she might get negative and quit. No, it's part of our damn business. Just do it in front of them and explain why you do it and teach them how that they can do it too. And they'll save some of the people that are up for termination, period. Second thing is, guys, when someone's calling to cancel because of money problems, sounds like they got a job where they don't make enough money and they could use a career opportunity. Whether they're a great fit or not, I don't know. The system will flush them out if they're not. But my God, let's at least share it with them. And let's also do that in front of our people, guys. Things that we want our agents to do, let's do those things in front of them and then have little short conversations about why we just did that. And some people, guys, are going to hear it, just like some of us here heard from Rob today about this. And it kind of, when we're out the other, shake our heads and go back and do the same thing. But some people are going to go, oh, and they're going to implement it the very next day. And it's going to become a great new habit that they never would have had in their business had you not had you not started that, had you not been the fan that flame. So so those are two things. Brian, thanks for doing that. Thanks for having your recruiting radar on. I mean, again, BJ Terode is here today on this leadership call and was in Cabo with us at a top 140 producer last year because you asked, and then when that person says they were in their career job, you said, hey, well, awesome people know other awesome people. Who do you know that might be a good fit for this? And then boom, pivoted, got that referral. We called him. Next thing you know, he's on board protecting families, having an awesome career and changing his life. So guys,
Brian, love you.
Yeah, there you go, guys. So BJ, your job today is to pay it forward and do something awesome for somebody today and next Monday, next Tuesday, like Brian did for you.
Yep.
That whole, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. No, guys, some of us have been hiding our light under a bushel. To stop doing that, we need to let it shine and talk to people. Okay, going back to Sunday school, guys, back in the 70s. There you go, guys. Last thing, maybe the most important thing that we're talking about today. It's on my screen right now, but Casey brought to us last week, guys, on Monday, a wonderful opportunity for us to help, for us to be significant, and she shared the Student of the Year with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I know right now she's mobile right now, so I'm going to show this and talk about it. But we had also talked about the Student of the Year, Maddox Vanover, and how great it would be for everyone to just kind of give next week, guys. Remember, the more you give, the more there is. It's not the more you give, the more you get. Okay, but the more we give, guys, the more there is. That's true abundance mentality. Next week, we got a cool opportunity, and Family Heritage is doing an outreach. I will find out in an email today what it is. Maybe it's come out and I missed it, but they're going to do an outreach. And every policy that you sell, Family Heritage is going to personally donate $1 for that policy. Good for corporate. That's awesome. Guys, on a local level, I truly believe that we have the opportunity in front of us to be significant. You know, Travis Wilson talks about going from success to significance. Guys, we're so damn blessed. There's people over in different parts of the country right now that are having their homes blown up right now. We're over here talking about protecting families and, you know, what movie are we going to see this weekend or where are we going to dinner? We are so blessed. So guys, I'd asked everybody on Monday to kind of put some thought during the week into what they wanted to do and said that there would be some follow-ups, and shame on me, there hasn't been any follow-up yet, but that's going to happen today. So guys, here's the deal. I'm going to go around, and if you can't give or you don't want to give, then hey, that's fine. If it does, Spirit's not moving you, that's cool. But guys, whether it's $1 per demo or $5 per demo or $10 per family protected or 10% of whatever you sell this week, guys, some of us make 50%, or maybe it's 5%, or maybe it's $5 for every hour you work. It could be anything, any controllable metric that you're willing to commit to today. I'll keep this really simple. I'll let everybody that wants to do this use their account. So it's just collections easy, because that can be a nightmare trying to collect $30 from this person and $62 from this person. Forget that. Everybody can just put it on their account. I'll take care of that. But guys, here's what I'm going to commit to, and then I'll just go around and let you guys share if you would like to do something too. But I'm going to commit 1% of the team's total NAP next week to this. So that means, guys, normally in normal weeks we sell 60,000. We're sitting at 47,000 right now for the week. We're with a good solid Friday. We're going to hit 60,000 again, like we've been doing recently. That would be 1% would be a $600 donation. Okay. Next week, the goal that I'm setting for this Train More is 100,000. Okay. I don't see why, with our current roster that we've got and everybody working and pushing, why we couldn't do 100,000. That would be a $1,000 donation to the Maddox Vanover Fund for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So, guys, that's what I'm committing to, and I hope it's a $1,000 donation. Just really quickly, I won't call anybody out unless we have 5 seconds of silence, but who else would like to share what they're going to do? And then guys, I would then ask that you go back to your team individually and share what we just did, what we're doing right now, and ask them what they're open to sharing, and remind them that the more you give, the more there is. God spreads the cash around in this world based on the people that are going to be good stewards of it and be the middleman and keep it going. I'm a firm believer of that. That's a personal belief of mine. If you hoard it and keep it all to yourself, I think he sends less your way. That's just my thoughts on that. Could be wrong, could be right. That's what I believe. Who else would like to help out?
Man, I'll do 150. Basically $5 a demo. I'm definitely doing 30 demos next week.
Okay. So minimum of 150, and then then 5 per demo.
Yep, 5 per demo.
Awesome. Thank you, Zach.
I definitely want to give, Van. I just want to look at everything that I got going on, and I'll figure out what to give.
Cool, Brian. When can you let me know by? After you look at everything.
I mean, I don't know, over the weekend. Is that cool?
Sure. Yep.
Or
okay.
Yeah.
I'll put by Sunday. Let me know. Okay. Okay, cool. Who else? Really, guys? Is everybody gone? Maybe everybody hung up. Iglo, you still on?
Who's?
Yeah,
Zach's
everybody's
on?
gone. I think Brian's still on.
Rob and Brian's the only ones left.
Okay, that's yeah. That I think I just wasted my breath on that last. But cool.
Well, you got me and Zach, man. You got me and
Brian's
Zach.
muted, I think Brian's playing Mr. Mom right now. He's dealing with Dimitri, helping out Elaine,
Yeah.
so he's probably not even hearing us right now.
All
right, guys.
Everybody's gonna give, Van.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody's gonna give.
Maybe. I hope so. They will if we ask them to. That's what we got to promote it. So I would say, yeah, probably should have done this at the beginning while we had a full house and not waited until it was over. But anyway, all right, guys, listen, have a great day. Let's finish strong. We definitely need it. Need a strong finish this week to create some momentum for next week. So let's not rest on our laurels. BJ, if you can pull out a Friday like you did a Thursday, that would be awesome sauce. And yeah, let's rock and roll. Same with you, Zach. Have a great day, man.
Later.
Bye, guys.
Bye, kids.